Hi guys, in this tutorial we are going to take a specific look at the precise words and phrases that we would associate with management and with leadership as well, to a degree, in business. Precise vocabulary is really important in business. Probably one of the reasons that you guys decided to do this course is to communicate better in a business environment. And it's really important that we explain concepts and use precise vocabulary in a business environment to prevent misunderstandings. Managers must describe tasks, give feedback, and communicate strategy clearly to achieve organizational goals and foster team collaboration. Effective management begins with effective communication. That's really important, which relies on clarity, precision, and a professional tone to prevent misunderstandings and build trust within the team. Using appropriate vocabulary enhances a manager's ability to lead, motivate, and guide employees efficiently while aligning everyone with the company's objectives. So this is why vocabulary is really essential, because there are obviously, in any language, different ways that you can express your ideas or explain concepts. But the important thing in business is that, and in management, is that it's done with precision and clarity, that it's done in a polite tone that's appropriate to the context, and it's done ideally in a way that could inspire confidence and buy-in in whoever it is that you're talking to. So it's not just can you communicate, it's can you communicate in the most effective way, and which is what this course primarily is about. So with that said, there's a lot of really high-level vocabulary I'm going to show you guys in the next few minutes. We've seen a lot in context already, but just to highlight some of the really important words and phrases. So we think about core management vocabulary when we're describing the big picture. So we talk about objectives. So clear goals or targets the organization aims to achieve, guiding all activities and decisions. We talk about company objectives, individual objectives, departmental objectives, things that should be achieved by the person or the people that are responsible for them. Strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve the organization's objectives effectively and efficiently. So objectives is what do you want to do. Strategy is how do you plan to do it. Resources, they can be financial, they can be human, they can be physical. The assets available to execute the strategy and support operations. Stakeholders, which is a word you'll come across in business a lot. Individuals or groups affected by or involved in the organization's activities, such as employees, customers, and investors. So whoever has any connection to this activity, to this business, to this enterprise, is a stakeholder. For example, if you think about a school, a private school as an example, the stakeholders are the staff, the teachers, the children, the parents, the local community, arguably local government, all the people that have an influence on or are influenced by this project are stakeholders. Performance is a measurement of how well objectives and strategies are being achieved, often using specific indicators. Performance in business is usually measurable. It's usually expressed in a number, which we'll see an example of in a second. When we talk about task and people management, we got some key verbs that we'd associate with that. So delegate. Delegate means assigning tasks to team members to optimize productivity and focus on key responsibilities. So if she delegates tasks effectively, that means she identifies who will be good at doing what task and delegates those tasks accordingly to the appropriate people. Supervise is overseeing work progress to ensure tasks meet standards and deadlines are followed. Coordinate means organizing activities and resources to harmonize efforts across team or departments. Evaluate is assessing performance or result to identify strengths and areas for improvement. And collaborate is working jointly with others to achieve shared goals. For example, we collaborate across departments. Organizational vocabulary describing the structure of a business. So we talk about a department, which is a distinct unit within a company focusing on a specific area such as marketing, finance, or operations. Reporting line is direct supervisory relationship between an employee and their manager, showing whom they report to. So it's like the one line of the hierarchy, let's say, who is your boss and who is their boss and who is their boss, potentially, depending on how big the company is. Who is under you in the hierarchy as well as part of the same reporting line. Chain of command is a formal line of authority in an organization outlining whom reports to whom. From top to bottom, so who has authority over him, basically. Hierarchy is a ranking system within the organization that defines levels of authority and responsibility. This goes from CEO to manager, general manager, area managers, supervisors, whatever, depending on the company and the structure. There'll be that hierarchy that branches out from the top to the bottom. And the phrase span of control means a number of direct reports a manager supervises within the organization. So how many people or how many activities are they responsible for? Goal setting and results vocabulary. So we have KPIs, which are key performance indicators. These are quantifiable measures used to evaluate success in achieving critical business objectives, such as sales growth or customer satisfaction. There's all sorts of software these days that can track data, and that can be converted into KPIs. So how many sales are we making? How many refunds do we have to give? What's our customer service satisfaction rating? All these things can be converted into KPIs, expressed as a number or percentage perhaps. Targets are specific goals set for performance, often numerical, that teams or individuals aim to achieve within a time frame. So a certain number of customers, as an example, certain sales figure, sales volume could be targets. Deadlines are predefined dates by which tasks or projects must be completed to ensure timely progress in delivery. Deliverables are tangible or intangible outputs or results that must be produced and submitted as part of a project or an assignment. Now, by tangible or intangible, basically we mean physical or non-physical. So a tangible would be new computer hardware is put together and delivered to a customer. The deliverable there is the hardware. Intangible would be customer support. So or advice. So if you go to a lawyer, for example, and you ask their legal advice and they charge you for their time and for their advice, that is an intangible product. Let's say you can't touch it, but it is real and it has been delivered. Benchmarks are reference points or standards used to compare current performance against industry best practices or past results. So benchmarks are sort of the standard that you aspire to. Decision-making and problem-solving vocabulary. So key verbs would be things like analyze, assess, prioritize, decide, implement, and review. Analyze, to go into more detail, is to examine information carefully to understand all aspects before moving forward with the decision. Assess is evaluate risks, benefits, and impacts to determine the best course of action. Prioritize and decide is rank options by importance or urgency, then choose the most suitable solution. Implement and review, put the decision into action and regularly check its effectiveness and outcomes. Outcome and trade-offs, understand the results of decisions, including any compromises or contingencies involved. Performance and feedback vocabulary. So feedback itself means information given to employees about their work performance, often aimed at helping them to improve or maintain good standards. Underperformance is when an employee's work does not meet the expected standards or targets, signaling a need for support or improvement. Recognition is acknowledging and rewarding employees for their achievements and good performance to motivate and encourage them. Improvement is the process or result of enhancing skills, behavior, or outcomes to achieve better performance at work. Growth is the development and advancement of an employee's capabilities and career through learning and experience. So again, some things to think about. See you guys getting used to expressing yourself using this vocabulary. You can write 3 or 4 sentences describing your management responsibilities using at least 5 new vocabulary words or phrases. Now, if you're not a manager right now, you could think about your manager, or what you think your responsibilities would be once you became a manager. Discuss with yourself, whoever's around, or you can write it down as a thought process. Which management terms you use most often in your work and why it's important. Identify which new term you find most useful or interesting and how you plan to apply it. We've seen a lot of new vocabulary and phrases so far, and especially in this presentation. You don't have to remember everything immediately. So think about what is going to be most useful for you. What words or phrases are you most likely to get an opportunity to use in your work environment? And remember, going back to the point I made in the beginning of this tutorial, the more accurately you use management vocabulary, the more professional and confident you sound. So it's about expressing yourself with precision and clarity and in a way that develops trust, both in your ability and in your leadership skills, or in your competence and in your leadership skills, better said. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in the next tutorial.